Welcome to Cut Daisies and Unicorns, and it's a Trailer Friday, everybody. Trailer Fridays are the day that you get to get a little sneak peek into what we're going to talk about on
It's a glimpse.
Sunday.
It's looking behind the curtain if you're in the Wizard of Oz.
It's like the curtain, right?
Hello. Come on in.
Peekaboo.
Take a look around and see. I have a lot of weird voices that I can use. Hey, what do you think about this one?
That reminds me of like the guy with the cigar, like that, like, hey, what's it, George Burns? Is that, no.
No, that's Gracie. Gracie. Trailer Friday. We finish up season 6.
Season 6 has come to a close after this episode, not before it.
That is correct. And then Phil and I will get into a conversation and look at the calendar and see about season 7 and what that all looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good episode.
Yeah, I think it's a pontificating, but also practical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you should listen just so that you can find out what Phil's doing that's new. Right. Brand spanking new. We're not even giving you a clue.
Nope.
It might rhyme with Wonderwall. And and then I take a little rabbit trail detour. There's definitely moments of attention deficit disorder that occur in the first 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phil came to the table with a great question. Yeah. Now, during the episode, one of the things that I found, now if you listen to it as a podcast audibly, then you don't get to see. But at one point in time through the podcast, if you're seeing it on YouTube right now, you can see me playing with the tail of the unicorn. I did not draw attention to that. But I was like just sitting here feeling the fuzziness of the unicorn's tail.
Did it make you happy?
Well...
That's a little sneak peek.
A little sneak peek to the question. We're actually going to put a play on words. We're going to disseminate some dualism, which means that we're using the juxtaposition of two thought points to put out there, just something for consideration. But the question is
happiness a myth?
Yeah. Do you dream about being happy? Like, is that an aspirational goal?
Yeah. I mean,
or is it a requirement or is it a request?
Right.
That's another little, they're going to hear that in the story.
Because we find the pursuit of happiness to be something that we go back to quite a bit.
Yeah.
And if this pursuit of happiness is the only pursuit, is that problematic?
What would Marcus Aurelius say?
We did bring up you brought up Marcus Aurelius a lot today.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm going to do that purposefully.
Yeah.
There's a section at the end that if you can get there, it's worth listening to. We give you an insight into the art of listening to our chaos.
Right. So it's a good place for you to sort it out. What are we at?
Everybody have fun tonight.
I was thinking you were saying everybody's kung fu fighting.
No, I was doing Wing Chun tonight.
Right.
Yeah. Hiya! Hiya! So if you're listening on the podcast, I actually kicked my left leg up into a side kick that was above my head. If you're watching on YouTube, you know that wasn't true.
But the audio people, they didn't need to know that.
Well, I mean,
they could just imagine it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. What's true if not imagined?
Mm-hmm.
The imagination runs wild. kicking legs up over heads, and I'm pretty sure from this spot right here, it would be difficult to put my leg up that high.
There's no spot on God's green earth that will allow me to even do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
So this weekend we're gonna travel around the earth and slingshot out into the universe to tickle your fancy with some common cause questions for your state of mental health.
That's a great way to put it. That paints an imagination of itself.
Oh, that's the only way. That's the only way. I want to use words like watercolors.
Right.
And acrylics. I've never worked with oils. Typically, if I paint, I'd paint with acrylics. I have done my fair share with watercolors, and I like to think of any time I paint, it's not realism, it's surrealism.
It's a good way.
Hey,
super real.
I went on an architectural tour on a boat.
Right. How did that go?
Yeah, you know what? It was fantastic.
Yeah, because it stopped raining at that part, or did you?
Oh yeah, no, it was fine.
Right.
It was fine because the tour that I went on, it said, "Hey, use this parking garage," and so we put it in there.
Yeah.
But then I was in the wrong lane, going underneath the stuff, so I had to go through and over, and then take a right. And then when I took a right, then apparently most of the Earth's population were walking the streets of Chicago. On Labor Day weekend, on a Sunday afternoon, while it's overcast and rainy.
Yeah.
And so literally it took us 25 minutes to go around the block. We had planned 40 minutes. We knew that the trip was only supposed to take 25, but because I couldn't get over to be able to get to the parking garage, thankfully Michaela's like, "Hey, what about that parking garage?" So you know where the AMC theaters are, down by Navy Pier?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there's a public parking garage. And so we whipped in there, and then Amy was about ready to kick us all out of the FJ so that we could and she was going to figure something out and just wait for us to get back hour and a half later. But we all got on the boat.
Yeah.
And stuff. Very interesting.
So you got on at Navy Pier?
Well, no. I mean, it's like really it's west of Navy Pier.
Okay.
It was in that canal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I learned all kinds of historic stuff. I find it really interesting that like Wisconsin, Indiana, and Michigan got in a lawsuit about Chicago's use of Lake Michigan water.
Yeah.
For like we talked about Dave Matthews dropping the poo, but apparently Chicago's been dropping poo in fresh water for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny when they even reverse the flow of the river.
Yeah.
That we were taking all that waste, and then instead of pushing it out to Lake Michigan, where we were then getting our drinking water from, we reversed the flow, and it pushed back all of this junk to St. Louis. And so they weren't happy when we reversed the flow.
Let go. I wanted to find a word that rhymed with poo, like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
When you Mr. Magoo the poo, you got to go with the flow.
You got to go with the flow. So what was your favorite building on the architectural tour that you learned about?
Gosh, it's been long enough now. I like the one that was designed by the woman with the inverted pyramids. That's a cool one with the use of the blue glass.
Yeah, that's actually Heather's favorite.
And you know what else? The other thing is, and I haven't researched any of this tour to like really dive into the nitty gritties.
Yeah.
But the cooling station.
Yeah.
That the guy offhanded like said that they used a bunch of radiators out of cars and stuff like that. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that every night, and I think he said it makes 100 ton of ice. And then like there's 25 or how many ever buildings tied into that and that's where they draw their cooling for the building from this one station.
Yeah.
And any architect that can design a building that uses that cooling system station is automatically approved just from the city's aspect. And so I like the part there was one that really stuck out to me. I find it interesting that the old Chicago Tribune building is now in a great controversy over becoming a casino.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the spot for it? Okay.
Yeah, so the casino controversy downtown is the old Chicago Tribune, which is now...
I think they were condos, apartments, something.
Isn't it the
now.
Sun-Times now?
No, sometimes, yeah. I think they also moved out. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I found it interesting because we went on a shorter architectural one.
You got the
a few hours before
45-minute one.
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It was fine. I mean the lady is in her day job a school teacher, so she does these on the side, these architectural, and she said this was her last one of the season, and. So I found it she had said something, because I always, as they call them, the corn cob buildings.
Yeah.
Which I call them the Wilco Towers.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so, but nobody, and I've been on this architectural tour a couple of times now, and none of them call it the Wilco Towers, but I call them that. But it's the one that it looks, as you can, it's circular. It's where there's a lot of parking on the bottom, and then there's condos, apartments on the top. And she said that there were
Yankee Foxtrot Hotel.
Yeah. And so with that, they said it's the second most photographed place in Chicago.
Yeah.
Is these towers. Do you know what number one is?
The Eiffel Tower.
No, in Chicago.
I was just seeing if our listeners were actually listening. Is it what used to be the Sears Tower?
No.
No, what's the other one?
The Bean, Millennium Park.
Oh, they consider that a structure?
Yeah, they still say it's the most photographed place in, where photographs come from.
Yeah.
Is at Millennium Park, usually at the Bean. Yeah. People are taking those, photos and, of like the skyline based on their picture, from their perspective of the Bean, blah, blah, blah. So that's number one, and Wilco Towers, as I call them, is number two. So, and that's right behind that is House of Blues. So it's there's... Yeah. The Wilco Towers and if you follow them all the way down to the bottom, that's where House of Blues is. So
yeah,
so it's.
So House of Blues is right underneath them. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't realize that. And you and I've been there a couple different times.
We have, yeah. Which I don't even think we took a picture of the Wilco Towers.
No, we did not.
So we didn't fall into that spot, but. Yeah, but you enjoyed yourself on the architectural tour.
Yeah, like to the point of that I'll definitely go again.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, knowing Michaela and Adam, it would not surprise me that they would say there were many kayaks on the river.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me to be like, hey, let's kayak down the Chicago River. The other thing that I would say in regards to the whole of it is the next time we go down, we know where to park. Yeah. That was a good, thing. I mean, literally, we walked on the boat with 2 minutes to spare. And so, but you could go down and park, and there's enough river walk that once you know where you're landed, getting down and walking along the river and stuff like that, I think people would enjoy that experience. We were going to take the train, the Metro.
Yeah.
And then Sundays, Metro, like, it wasn't really user-friendly.
The actual schedule of
the
it.
The schedule for that Sunday wasn't like, and so, like, I think next time I would check the Metro schedule and then plan the tour around. I mean, I just arbitrarily, I really wanted to do more of an evening one. Now, they do have a haunted Halloween ghost tour on the boat.
I haven't heard of that one.
And so, and they also have an evening jazz night, which I think would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so the other trick or tool, if you're not taking the train.
Well, does that mean I'm a trick or a tool?
No.
Thank you.
But and here's what I've learned to use is Spot Hero, not a sponsor. Spot Hero will get you close, and you'll pay probably half of what, like, especially if you were parking in the Navy Pier parking or the Millennium Park parking. That gets real expensive real quick to park there. Spot Hero, you know what you're paying in advance. So you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be there at noon, and I'm going to leave here at 4. And they're going to say, here's your price. What do you want to pay? So, like, you can look around at the spots and be able to search out then the right one for the right time. Yeah. So, to me, it, like, especially parking in downtown, if I'm there for an extended period of time instead of just dropping in, I'm gonna use Spot Hero pretty much every time. If I'm not taking the train in.
If you want to know.
Yeah, so for those of you who are dropping into our fair city of Chicago, and you're going downtown, and you're like, I don't know where I'm going to park. Parking is an issue. Use Spot Hero. It's a good tool to be able to make sure to be able to get close enough. Like, so then you're also planning out and saying, how long of a walk from this place I'm parking to the spot of where I need to be.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it was good. I think we came back as a family and thought, it was a lovely way to be able to break up the holiday weekend. And, we had good adventure, and then went home, and I had meat thawed out and grilled up on the barbecue, and we watched a movie, and it was generally
it's a lovely day.
Lovely day. It was a lovely day. Yeah.
It's always good when you can be with your kids.
Yeah.
Especially when they don't live near.
It's true. Yep. Very, very nice. And just really appreciated family time, and also it gives you great appreciation for the family that you didn't get to spend time with, in a just remembrance of that. So, yeah. Well, everybody, we are looking at that the calendar keeps flipping, the clock keeps ticking. When I went outside this morning, the smell of autumn and the fall was definitely in the air. A little bit of a coolishness, even though it's going to be a warmer day. And we're getting ready to hunker down. I think it's time to start consuming calories and get on that layer of warmth that is needed for the Chicago winters. But
I don't think I've shed mine yet, so I'm good.
All right.
I'm already.
There you go.
Already ready for hibernation.
Stay the same, maintain. That's what you got to do.
Right.
So, but yeah, and you know what? On the socials, we'll just let you know whether we take a break or we don't take a break. If we jump right into season 7 or doing whatever we're gonna do, because what we know is interruptions are gonna come, and so we'll let you know how that goes. and be bringing back.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to
possibly a live show. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll have to see how that's all going to work out. So, but otherwise, if you're wondering if either Phil or I are happy, I think that what you would find is that the pursuit of happiness is not on our value list, but the indwelling of contentment, so that we could be able to pass on the serenity of our development is in our value list. Yeah. Transformation.
Right. So everybody have a good weekend, and we'll continue to press forward, and we'll see you on Sunday, everybody. See you on Sunday.
Yep. And may your pontifications be met without ramification. Freedom of speech!
Yeah, he's got great rhyming words there.
I'm looping them all together. I like if you keep the tape going, I'm just going to keep going with more stuff.
Everybody take care.
Beard health.